Hey.
Hi, I'm Chris.
Hey, nice to meet you.
I'll
I'm
be your
Connor.
counselor today.
All right.
I first off would like to thank you for coming in. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for
And I'm just
sure.
going to quickly go over the client acknowledgement form. We kind of have to do this when we start all our sessions just to make sure everything's clear.
Hmm.
So, Durham College as a counseling service is free. It's a voluntary program that provides individuals with one-to-one personal support from a student counselor in training, me, who is currently studying the social service worker program.
Okay.
If you agree to participate in this service, we commit to do our best to try and assist you in working towards goals you identify. However, please understand that while most individuals do benefit from our service, there are factors we cannot control, and therefore we cannot guarantee your circumstances will improve. You know what I mean? So basically, there's not a guarantee this will work, but we will do what we can to get you the help that you need.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. The length of the involvement in this service is your decision. We will commit to continue working with you as long as you feel it is being helpful. So as long as you feel like it's working, we'll continue to work with you. We will commit, I'm sorry, in addition to your involvement in the program and the information shared with your student counselor and training is all confidential. So I will protect any information. So anything we talk about today only stays between us.
Okay.
But there are a few instances where I would have to release the information. I'm just going to go over those now. So if you sign a release form, like basically saying I can talk to other employees or whoever it may be about the information that you've given me,
Okay.
or if I'm called into court. So if I'm called into court, something relating to our session, I'm gonna have to disclose the information we talked about. If you're risk, if you're suspected of being a risk of harming yourself or someone else, which is pretty self-explanatory, any situation where suspected child abuse, neglect, or domestic violence in the presence of a child has to be reported to the local child services, right?
Okay.
And the last one is report of being sexually abused by a regulated health professional, e.g., psychiatrist or doctor. That's pretty much it. Is there any questions you want to ask?
No, I think that's
This is
that's it.
pretty clear?
Yeah, that's good.
Great. Let's get started then. So, what brings you in today, Connor?
Uh, I don't know, man. It's just feel like I've been really stressed out lately. I think the biggest thing is with my relationship. So I've been dating this girl. Dating her for about actually a year now. Our anniversary was just a couple weeks ago.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So it started off, we were just friends, we were just messaging each other, this and that. It wasn't anything serious. I never really wanted to get into it. But then we ended up hooking up, and eventually we ended up dating a few months later, and it's kind of just been uphill. Like I've always had doubts, and I feel like I've had most of my doubts at the beginning, and the higher I go, the better relationship gets, the more the doubts go away. But the one doubt I've had, it seems to be getting stronger, is that I'm 21 years old. I'm in college right now. I go to Durham, taking the SSW program as well, and it's just 21 years old, and there's a lot of girls around there. Girls, especially in that kind of program, can be pretty flirty, and there's a lot of
Hmm.
opportunities. It's like, I don't know. It's just like it's the best years of your life, they say, and you're only 21, and are you wasting an opportunity by settling down already in this relationship? And don't get me wrong, like the relationship's great. I feel like I get a lot out of it, but we only see each other like once or twice a week. We're both so busy, it's even hard to communicate throughout the day
Hmm.
because our schedules just don't line up, or one of us is at work. And like when I'm with her, it's awesome, and I feel like really good. But then sometimes when I'm not with her, it's I get those thoughts of maybe not being with her.
Okay. Okay. So, from what you're telling me, is you've been pretty stressed out from school
Hmm.
as of recently. And if we go back a little bit, you said you didn't initially plan to get in a relationship with her,
Hmm.
but you guys ended up dating after talking for a bit, or sorry, hooking up a bit, and you guys started
Yeah,
dating after that.
yeah.
Okay, okay. So now you're saying to me that you have these feelings towards other girls in the college and towards basically the single life.
Hmm.
Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And you obviously still want to be with your girlfriend and you
Hmm.
enjoy the relationship, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that with me.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
appreciate it. And being a guy myself, do you mind if I share something with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've actually been in a relationship for about gonna be 9 years now. And being younger, I had the same urges, right?
Hmm.
So I can understand what that's like. But when you put things into perspective, I find it can help clarify. And that's what I'm gonna try to do for you today. Help you see all the elements of this.
Okay.
So why don't you tell me what the relationship means to you? The relationship with your girlfriend. What does that mean to you?
Um, it means a lot to me. Like I feel like I have a really good one on my hands, and I feel like if I ended things, like I might regret it. Um, but on the other hand, I feel like I also might regret settling down too early, especially if it doesn't work out.
Hmm.
So it definitely means a lot, and it gives me a lot of grounding in my life. It gives me a lot of support, but sometimes I feel like other aspects of my life other needs aren't being filled.
Hmm. Now, when you say other needs, what do you mean by that?
I just like I don't know. I just feel like 21 years old is like the perfect time to go out and party and hook up with other girls and do a whole bunch of other things and just not have to worry about significant other.
Hmm. Hmm. And I could definitely see that being less work overall, you know, being single, but there's also the pros and cons that come along with being in a relationship and being single. I believe it comes down to what you want, right?
Hmm.
So you say you want to be in a relationship with your girlfriend, you really appreciate it, right? But then you're having these conflicting thoughts. Now, what sense do you make of these conflicting thoughts? How does it what does it mean to you when you have these thoughts?
Um, so it's tough because like sometimes I'll tell myself too, just for reassurance. I'll say, hey, they're just little thoughts, they're just urges or whatever. So I try not to put too much merit into them.
So you were saying you have these urges. What sense do you make of these urges? What do they mean to you?
I don't know, man. It's tough. That's what I've been trying to balance, trying to figure that out. Is because I'm trying to balance the value of the relationship or being single, and the urges. Like I try to tell myself like they're just thoughts. They just they're natural, especially just being young. I'm not sure like if other relationships have them, so I'm just like what, maybe that's just the way it is. It's just like you can love someone and also look at others and have those, but it's part of being a man in a relationship is to just say and put them aside and put up with it. But sometimes I'm just wondering like what if they're a sign, or like what if that's what I really want to do?
Hmm.
What if that's what would make me happy?
Hmm. Now, hearing you speak, Connor, it seems you have very great insight into what these urges may mean to you, and it seems that you were able to focus and worry about what's more important. But what do you think you can do to help combat these urges and focus?
I think that's what I'm struggling with most, is that they just kind of, because we'd only see each other once or twice a week. It's tough when there's like I see her on Sunday and I don't get to see her again until next Saturday, and then I go through that whole week without talking to her too much, or like I don't get to see her. So I just kind of, like I said, I just tell myself they're nothing, and I try to ignore it, and that's it.
Hmm. Hmm. Now, sorry, I'm just gonna go back here for a second. You say that you enjoy your relationship with your girlfriend, yet you at some point um, give these thoughts merit. Do you think that's fair to say?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I just don't know. I don't know if I should be or if I shouldn't be.
Okay. And what sense do you make of being in the relationship? What do you think that has for you, like in terms of benefits?
I think it has a lot. I think that it's a great support system. I think that she's really awesome, and even just like seeing her grow and us grow together has been really great. And it's awesome to have someone there for you. And I feel like I don't. I maybe if I end things, that I'll regret it in the future, and maybe I'll wish I hadn't, and it wouldn't be worth it. But again, there's only one way to find out. I don't really want to take that risk.
Mm. Mm. So would it be fair for me to say that your girlfriend has been a great help for you in
Hmm.
terms of um, with college, homework, and just someone to depend on and stability?
Yeah, absolutely. She plays that role in my life, and she was in university as well, so she knows how to do different formatting, different assignments. She knows how to study. She knows how to take notes. She knows how to do all that stuff. So
Hmm.
it's been a great help for sure.
Okay. So you've listed off a bunch of benefits of being with her. What makes you question the thought of being with her? I remember you saying that you didn't want to be settled down. What does settled down mean for you at this age?
just means that I'm with one person, and um, I don't really get to you know, do all the things that maybe I might like I do want to do, but I'm holding back on, and I might regret it when I'm older.
Hmm. So would it be safe to say you're worrying about the regret you could face from both options?
Hmm.
So what does being single mean for you? What benefits do you think that would reap for you?
I think it would fill a lot of needs. I think like just being able to go out there and do the things that I wasn't really ever able to do when I was younger. Growing and being more confident, and it just being in a college setting, like get to experience something I've never experienced before, and that a lot of people say it could be one of the best experiences of your life.
Hmm. Now, you said when people say, do you worry that you're taking what they say and you feel like you're missing out on things? Do you feel that way?
Yeah, absolutely. I take that in for sure because um, other people who've lived those experiences. Maybe they have insight into it and they might understand the regret. But I also try to balance it with myself. Um, I get a lot from being in a relationship, but I also feel like I would get a lot out of that as well. I just don't know which one I would get more out of.
Hmm. Hmm. What do you think would be would line up with your values now? Which one do you think would be better for you?
See, I think like in terms of success, I think having the relationship would be better. I think it'd be better long term, especially if it just gets better and better, and it does turn out to be the one relationship that I want to be in. But I also feel that being single, I'll be able to live, um, have more fun and have more experiences, and really get to enjoy the time I'm in while I'm in it.
Hmm. Hmm.
And there's even been times too where um, I didn't see her for a while, and I was pretty clear cut on ending things, and then I see her and immediately like it changes, and then I remember how much like I like her and all the things I like about her, and that actually happened quite a lot in our relationship.
Hmm. Could you tell me more about that?
Um, yeah, just like sometimes I feel like when I get those thoughts, I just kind of forget all the good things about that I like about her, and I focus too much on everything else, like all the other options
Hmm.
and being single and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And then once I'm with her, like I said, I remember everything and then I'm happy.
Hmm.
But again, I only get to see her once or twice a week, so having that much time away, it's a battle.
Hmm. Now, just a couple questions. Do you um do you think that there's something in the relationship that is happening or that isn't happening that is bringing up these thoughts of these urges more frequently?
Yeah, I think so. I think a large part of it is the disparity between um, like we have different personality types, but we share very similar values. Um, I think that she puts in more effort in the terms of the little things and setting things up for us, and maybe and she's even complained to me too because relationships they're a two-way street. So even though I've had these urges to end things, she's had
Hmm.
urges as well to end things, and it's been close where because I haven't put in enough effort,
Hmm.
she's wanted to end things.
Hmm. So you say you won't. Sorry, you say you. She said you haven't put in enough effort. What does effort in a relationship mean to you? What do you think effort is in a relationship?
I think it's just always, you know, I think it's picking up on cues. It's being affectionate. It's letting the other person know as often as you can that you care for them, and just, I guess doing all the little things, which I guess I don't do enough of. I think maybe I don't know if it's just because I'm a guy or what. Like I focus too much on the big things. Like I make sure we've got things to do, and I make sure that we always communicate and things are good. But then
Hmm.
her being the girl, she's like, oh well, I wish you would do these things, and I wish you would, just do more little things.
Hmm. So she's mentioned to you how she feels about the effort you put into the relationship.
Hmm.
And what have you done with when she relays this information to you? What is your response? What have you done in turn?
I hear her out, and I try my best. She knows I've improved. I know I've improved, and I am improving. But yeah, I'm not perfect, and especially not in the relationship. So um, I guess that's her struggle.
Right. Now, you saying there's disparity between how often you get to see each other.
Hmm.
So tell me more about that. How often you get to see each other, how much time you get to spend together.
So yeah, like I said, when I see her, it's great, but it's only once or twice a week because we're both so busy. Like I work
Hmm.
a 50, 60 hour week, and she does as well. And communication is hard as well because we're either during the day she's at work or I'm at work,
Hmm.
and we don't talk all day. We send texts throughout the day, not too many real conversations. We say good morning, we say good night, and even at night, like I get home and then I want to spend my free time watching a movie or play video games, or um, I'm too tired to even want to have a conversation. And
Hmm.
sometimes when I want to have a conversation, she doesn't, and vice versa. It's our schedules aren't matching up very well, and
Hmm.
it's tough.
Hmm. So would you say the stresses of work and school are sometimes putting a damper on your relationship and how you can communicate with each other?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Now, you mentioned earlier when you do see her after not seeing her for a long time, and you do talk to her, and you
Mm-hmm.
guys hang out and do whatever it is, all of the love and appreciation and recognition for how good the relationship is comes back to you,
Mm-hmm.
correct? Now, what it seems like to me, I'm noticing a bit of a incongruency here. What it seems like to me is that you enjoy the relationship more with your girlfriend as opposed to entertaining thoughts of being single.
Mm-hmm.
When you entertain thoughts of being single, you brought up life experiences you may not know again, or things you may be missing out on.
Mm-hmm.
These are things as you said yourself, you may be missing out on. But you know, you seem to know in this relationship you are getting stability, balance, support, especially in terms with sorry, especially in terms of school.
Mm-hmm.
So would it be fair for me to say that you appreciate this relationship more than you would appreciate being single, even though you've stated it?
Yeah, I think so. I think, at the end of the day, being single is a short term thing, and being in a relationship is a long term thing.
Hmm.
So, being single can be a lot of fun, but how long does that last?
Hmm. Hmm. Now, you say there's a problem with how much you get to see each other. Do you think there's anything that you can do on your end to spend more time with her or to do those small things that she asks about?
Yeah, like I'm definitely working on the small things. I'm hearing out like maybe what those things are, or just like
Hmm.
picking up on them, picking up as many cues as I can. Big thing is I could definitely stay over at her house more. The only problem is like I'm so busy and she's so busy that if I go all the way down, she lives in Bowmanville and I live out
Hmm.
here, so it's a 20-minute drive. I drive all the way out there. It's 20 minutes, and I only get to see her for 2 hours because we both get off at 8 or 9, and we both got to be up at 7 or 8 tomorrow. So we're not even gonna get 8 or 8 hours of sleep, and we're gonna hang out for 2 3 hours, and it's just like I don't know. It's pretty demotivating, right? To drive all the way out there, spend the gas and all that.
Mm. I see where you're coming from. It can be very stressful to try to set up meetings, especially if you don't have time for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in terms of outside things you can do, sorry, you said you like to, play video games or relax or do other hobbies or hang out with your friends. Do you think somewhere in there you're able to elicit more time to spending with her?
I think so. Yeah, I've tried to make an effort to get her to play video games with me and teach her some of the video games, but I don't know if I put in enough of effort. Sometimes she's mentioned it to me like, oh hey, let's play this. She's down to play, but then I'm too tired, and then vice versa. So again, it's just the busyness really
Hmm.
just hurts everything.
Hmm. So, aside from outside factors that are affecting how you guys interact, overall, you seem to enjoy each other's company, enjoy being around her, and it seems like to me you're appreciating the relationship,
Hmm.
right? More so than entertaining thoughts of being single. Now, I think that if you are somehow able to set aside more time together in advance, this may be able to allow you guys to have more time together.
Hmm.
Do you think that's possible? You think you're able to set that up?
I think so. Yeah, maybe I'm getting what I'm putting in, and I put in more effort and I try to see her more, then some of these problems will go away.
Okay. Yeah, Connor, it sounds like to me, it's pretty clear. Sorry, is it safe for me to say you would want to continue the relationship? As you have mentioned before, you're worried about regretting it, meaning if you were to do it, would you regret it?
Yeah, like I'm definitely, the regret goes both ways. Like I could regret breaking up with her, I could regret staying with her for too long.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, I guess I'm on the fence, so I'm not in a place to make a decision yet, and I'd like to try some other things before we conclude.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean try other things?
Like switch up the pace of the relationship. Like I said, we're only seeing each other once or twice, or switch up what we're doing because
Mm-hmm.
clearly right now it isn't working as much as it should be
Mm-hmm.
in terms of distance, anyways. Because like I said, when we're with each other, it's great, but when
Mm-hmm.
we're not, it can be hard.
Yeah, I could definitely understand that. It's tough to put a lot of effort and worry about something you don't get to see a lot, especially when there's all these other factors around,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I can definitely understand your frustration. Now, is there any way that you can talk to her about this, about how you feel? Have you brought this up to her?
I have in bits and pieces. I haven't dove too much into it because I don't want her to worry just about the state of our relationship and worry that like I might end it or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because that could just make things worse.
Right. Now you say you're worried. You don't want her to worry that you might end it. Keyword might. Sorry, not keyword. The statement there might end it. Do you feel like you might end it? Has that thought crossed your mind?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Would you say it has crossed your mind more than the thought of being with her?
I think they go hand in hand. Like I think about it as a whole. I think
Mm-hmm.
I think about everything in this. When I think about anything, I'm thinking about what it's like to be with her, and I'm balancing the two. So I'd say it's pretty equal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I believe that if you were to find a way to spend more time with her, that you would be able to, focus more on the relationship and not be so distracted with these other thoughts. And I know that with stress and the influence of your friends and community, I'm sure you do have some single friends who, do brag about the lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So I could imagine, wanting to be part of that, especially when it's basically, exploration of the unknown, right? And in a relationship, especially if we've been in it for a little while, anything outside the relationship can seem enticing or exciting. But knowing that you have a good relationship and someone you could depend on for stability, someone you can have fun and game with, and someone you just genuinely like to be around, it sounds like to me you're more about the relationship and being with her than you are entertaining thoughts of being single. So I think that you should set up a plan to be able to see her more. Do you think that's something you'd be able to do?
Yeah, I think so. I think right now it's not static enough. It's kind of just like every week. It's week to week. It's like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow night, or when am I going to see you? It's not really like much of a static thing. Like, hey, we needed to see each other like every this and then, and
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely not enough.
Mm-hmm. So do you think that setting up dates to see each other earlier on, like for in advance, it'd be easier instead of weekly?
I think so. I think maybe if we actually set up more and we create a plan to hang out maybe 2 3 times a week and talk more, that maybe it'll definitely it'll go one way or the other. Like either it'll fix it or I'll know.
Okay. So it sounds like setting up more time to hang out and communicate would clarify where you want to go with your decision.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, I think you should follow through with that
Okay.
and set up more plans to meet up and communicate. But I believe that wraps up our session today. I want to thank you for coming in,
Thanks for listening.
and I hope I was able to help today.
Absolutely.
Thank you.